On today's episode of Kult America, we are searching for the battle scars of Berlin. Behind me is the Berlin Cathedral. This building was absolutely devastated after the Second World War. We're going to take a close look to see if we can find any evidence of that devastation after the church's restoration. And look at that. You can come up close and actually touch the places where this building was shot up. So the restoration work on the Berlin Dome has been really impressive, but when a tourist is to come closer to the actual building, you can see countless areas where the bricks have been destroyed by different projectiles, bullets, explosives. Behind me is the Atlas Museum. This building was completely destroyed during the Second World War, laid in ruins until 1966 when it was restorated. Let's go and see if there are any remaining scars from its battle. So the damage to the Atlas Museum is a little bit less dramatic than some of the other buildings, but with a clever eye, it doesn't take much to discover the markings on the wall. Behind me is the new guardhouse, a building that was just obliterated during the Second World War. And now I'm not a historian, but I could only guess that the bricks behind me, which don't match, are not original. This building was annihilated by bombs. If you know something more about that, maybe write me in the comment section below, because I couldn't really find out what was original and what was new in terms of the architecture of this building. Behind me is the old arsenal, and although you will not find many shelling marks on this building, it's been thoroughly restorated. It's interesting to note that in 1943, a suicide bombing assassination was planned here for Adolf Hitler, though the attempt was a failure. So the buildings around Berlin's famous Victory Tower are really shelled up and still scratched up from war. What I'm curious about is whether or not the Victory Tower itself still has some remnants of war damage. Let's go check it. So it would seem that the Victory Column still bears evidence of war. So the Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church is perhaps the first thing that ever made me realize German people could also be victims in the Second World War. There's a plaque inside I saw a few years ago that said the devastation of this church was the result of insane politics. And I never really thought about it at the time, but plenty of people probably also did not want war, did not want those politics. German people probably also wanted a calm, peaceful, healthy place to live. The Olympic Stadium is a timeless symbol of Hitler's era. A lot of important things happened here, but what I'm here to find today is a bell that has the 2 remaining Berlin swastikas. Getting the opportunity to see historic places like this is always amazing to me. It's a really eerie feeling to be basically the only person in this stadium. Just me, the echo, as you could hear my foot stomp, and the birds. The marching field behind me was built at the request of Adolf Hitler, and it could accommodate 180,000 marching soldiers. It's insane to walk in the places where these people walked because it makes history so tangible. So on that bell behind me are 2 remaining swastikas in Berlin. And what moves me the most about this is that the German people went to an amazing amount of trouble to remove that imagery from their country. But on the other hand, once you start looking for bullet holes, it's almost very difficult not to see them. The city is covered in bullet holes. It seems they don't want to go to the same amount of effort to erase those bullet holes, perhaps so that they can remember the result of that nasty symbol behind me. So we are on our way to Berlin flank towers. These were anti-aircraft bunkers that were positioned on the outskirts of the city to protect the inhabitants and military interests within. So as you can clearly see, this bunker was hit by large artillery. Not little pistols or rifles, this was hit by bombs. So this wall is little of what remains of a bombed out train station. At one point in time, this was actually one of Berlin's key transit points, and today, little remains. So the thing that I learned today was that there are victims even inside of countries which provoke war. And unless you come and visit these battle sites, these disaster sites, and see them firsthand, it's a little bit hard to have sensitivity towards that fact. What I'm curious about is, what sites did I miss in Berlin? What sites should I come back and see in Berlin? Perhaps there is more Nazi imagery that I've overlooked, or hidden bunkers. Please write me in the comments section below, subscribe, and stay tuned.